at 16, we used to be like getting dressed in poor cabins, and we used to train on a public park. It wasn't like I was in a Premier League academy.
He got man of the match, he knows he did.
That was at the start of the season. That was my full debut against Villa. Some big players, like looking back on the team sheet. Yeah, I would say the Yorkshire people are nicer than the Southerners, to be honest. That might be a bit controversial, but
it's
not controversial.
It sort of stops at Leeds. The further up you go, they become.
What are you chuckling at?
I'll come to it in a minute.
It's not often Grandad laughs.
There is a strong rumour. Now, I don't know how true this is, but when you won the league with Leicester.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I'm going to say?
I think I know what it is.
Hello and welcome to the official Leeds United podcast with me, Emma Jones, Michael Bridges and Stuart Dallas. So are we, lads?
Very well, thank you, Emma. You?
Yeah, delighted to be here. Another great guest lined up.
Well,
I hope.
He always sounds like he doesn't want to be here when we start these.
I'm not convinced he does.
But when you get into it, you'll love it, don't you?
Yeah, it's great.
Well, seeing that you're excited about the guest, would you like to do the big intro then, Stuart?
No, go ahead. It's your job.
James Justin is going to be joining us very shortly.
Fantastic.
We're all very excited about that. But before he does, he has given us one truth and two lies about himself. And you two have got to decide which one you think is the truth, okay? So, it took me until the age of 14 to learn how to ride a bike.
Wow. Okay, fair enough.
I sat on a cooker when I was a kid and have the scar to prove it on my leg. I had an imaginary friend when I was young and his name was Justin James. So, well, let's hope it's not that one then.
I hope
Because
it's
you
not
just
the last one, because the podcast's going to be weird.
Give us your thoughts.
Go on, Bridget.
I'm going to go for 14 to learn to ride a bike. There's many reasons why that. There's many reasons why that could be. I'm going to suggest that sitting on a cooker, because I did that when I was a kid, but I haven't got a scar. But I remember sitting on something very hot, so I think it's an easy thing to do. And I reckon he has got a scar on his leg. Yeah,
it's quite a niche one. That I feel like it has to be true. Do you know what I mean?
That's why I'm thinking it. I've gone really deep and thought about this. Normally we just go whatever. This is a good one.
Well, you speaking from your own experience.
Correct.
Well. Stuart?
Yeah, I'm going with that as well. I can't understand why it would take you to 14 to ride a bike. I mean,
I hope it is now, so then you're going to feel terrible.
No, he's obviously been playing football his whole career, so his balance is good, his core's good.
Might not have been able to afford a bike till he was 14. There's one.
Yeah, true, but I just think it's a...
You feel like a dick now, don't you?
No, I don't.
I've just got on there big style.
No, it's so good.
I hope it's that one.
I'm going with a scar from getting burnt on
scars.
Well, let's find out, shall we? James Justin! Hello, Lord. Nice to meet you, okay?
Welcome.
Thank you for joining us.
Welcome to the Madhouse.
Thank you very much.
Strap in.
We have to start with asking you, did you learn to ride a bike before you were 14?
Yeah.
Okay.
Massively. I don't know when I was, how old I was when I first learned to ride a bike, but it definitely wasn't 14. As Stu said, that's a bit crazy, to be honest. 14.
Did you have an imaginary friend when you were young, and was his name Justin James?
No, I didn't.
I can relax now.
Keep me out of the madhouse. No, the second one was true, yeah.
So that means that as a kid, you sat on a cooker and you've got the scar to prove it on your leg. Is it a part of your leg that is easily visible or not?
I wouldn't get it out on a podcast.
That's fine.
To be honest, I'll just leave it at that.
Is it a big scar?
Yeah, it's pretty decently big. Probably about this big. I think it's just grown as I've grown as well. So
expanded with you.
Yeah, expanded. Yeah.
Was it very painful at the time?
To be honest, I can't really remember it, but from what I hear, I was screaming the house down as you would. Just been burnt alive.
If you're wondering why Stuart hasn't spoken, until we start talking about football, he won't speak.
Oh, okay.
So he reserves his questions for that. Me and Michael Bridges love this.
Do you know what it is, though? I can't get a word in. That's the issue.
Yeah,
it's nothing to do with football or anything like that. It's
just listen.
When you have two,
he's got you down pat.
you?
He's hammered you. Oh yeah,
he's both of us.
I can deflect onto you. You're right.
This is our favourite bit. We do quickfire questions, starting with who is your favourite teammate to share a laugh with?
Ethan Ampadu.
Is that because he's in the room watching?
Maybe, nah.
Why?
He's got a good sense of humour.
Why? Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to take the mick out of him.
Well, he did say that he was quite childish off the pitch. So
Yeah.
are you similar?
Yeah, no, I think you have to keep a bit of that childish banter going in the dressing room, you know.
That's the stuff me and you
And the
miss.
skipper usually
Innit? The
puts
dressing room.
that forward to everyone, you know.
We miss that. I've got one because I love me food. Takeaway. What's your favourite go-to takeaway?
What's my go-to takeaway? It'd just be like fried chicken from anywhere that I've scouted around the area that does a good 3-piece and chips.
So do you rate them?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
top. Usually KFC would just be like a bog standard one. Always get the ones with bones, obviously, because boneless is a bit pointless. I don't really understand it.
Totally agree.
Why is it
but-
pointless?
What?
Why is
Boneless
boneless-
chicken?
Boneless chicken?
Why do you need the bone?
Chicken fillet.
You don't eat the bone.
No? What?
So
I know
why do you
don't.
need the bone?
Well, that means it's not chicken.
Do you never have a
You
chicken
need
burger?
to have a chicken with a bone in it because then you know it's really
Chicken
good.
nuggets
proper.
are chicken.
No, it's sort yourself
What
out.
about
Chicken
chicken
nuggets.
nuggets?
A chicken fillet burger.
No, it's got to have a bone in it. We're on the same
This is a
page.
bone of contention.
See, that was quickfire.
But just quickly, sorry, because we've not discussed this before. So what's your favourite takeaway?
My Thai
Yeah, but what? Oh,
would be a pad CU.
pad what?
Pad CU or pad Thai.
What's a pad CU?
Pad CU is a bit of a thicker noodle with a bit of beef in it, and then a pad Thai is thinner noodles but a bit more kick
I
in
like-
it, with
yeah.
a bit of peanuts.
Do you like Massaman?
No.
Stuart, what's your takeaway?
Mine at the minute actually is like an Italian, like a penny salmon. It's just like salmon with a creamy sauce with penny pasta.
Oh, that sounds
quite
good.
upper class.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really.
You just
At
just
the
have
minute-
pasta, but now after football, a bit of money.
I'm partial,
Salmon
I'm
with a bit of
partial to a
cream.
good Domino's, to be fair.
What's on your pizza?
No, I go for the barbecue pizza, which
Barbecue
pepperoni,
base and just like
pepperoni, sweet corn, onions, peppers.
Oh, you're going all in. What about you?
I would get like a meat feast type of one and then change it slightly to put more chicken on there usually.
With bones.
If I could, I would.
Are you happy now that we've
Yeah,
done the
happy.
food
I'm
quota?
relaxed now.
Okay. What song gets you in the zone? One song.
Meek Mill, Dreams and Nightmares, I would say.
Do we know that, lads?
I don't think you would know it. If it was to get me going, like that's a quite good like hype song to get me
Upbeat.
going. Yeah.
Did you have to do an initiation song?
No, we didn't have to do one here, which is a bit strange because
Just putting it out there.
Yeah, I've done it at the other clubs that I've been at.
And what was your go-to?
My first one at Luton was Ayaz Replay.
Oh, you know that one.
Yes.
I bet you'd
You know
like that
that
one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
What's
then,
what was yours?
What was mine? The Gambler by Kenny Rogers.
Great song.
Was you any good at it?
Very
No.
Stuart Dallas,
No?
that.
No.
That is
It
like
is, isn't it?
old school grandad,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. Very, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good tune at that time.
Still is.
I love it. It's one of my
I
favourites.
sung
Timeless.
it at Brentford as well, to be fair. But I didn't eat for 3 days leading up to it.
Oh, you're nervous?
Wow.
We won't ask you to do it
It's
now.
so
For my first one, I
nerve-wracking.
was so nervous. I remember it was away at Exeter. I was about 17 and I was quaking. I was a little bit ill, so my voice was a bit breaking. Oh,
It's
I
mad
remember
when you think about it because it can put you off your game. Like the more thought process going into your initiation, ran out of breath, song is harder than actually thinking about the game.
I remember
It's
Adam
horrible.
Forshaw when he signed for us. He had to do it. And
Panicking?
he got up to sing and he couldn't sing and his jaw just kept going.
Oh, Adam.
He couldn't sing.
Did he get battered?
Yeah. Honestly, it was hard. It was,
There's nothing worse.
And Ads is a confident lad, like, isn't he? But
So
it
you
was
imagine
tough.
going in a room where you don't know 20 to 30 other people and you've just got to spit a song out, stand on a chair.
I'd be quite okay with that,
Would you?
genuinely.
Oh, fair
Yeah.
play.
No, but that's what, for me, I'd be more nervous about going out there and playing because obviously I can't
Yeah,
play.
yeah.
But what I mean is, it's
Yeah,
like,
but you know you're good at playing.
yeah.
Like you're doing something you're not good at.
Yeah, but I know I'm not good at singing, but I feel like I'd still enjoy it because you're forcing everyone to listen to your dulcet tones, aren't you?
Give me 5 or 6 beers, like I'm
In the zone.
But why is it so nerve-wracking? Because it's something that everyone has to do and everyone like embraces you while you're doing it.
once
Don't
the
you
room
get-
just goes silent for like a minute and everybody's just
They don't
looking at
sing
you.
along with you.
Not at the beginning.
yeah, not
If
the
you've got a
beginning,
good- maybe
and
get
then
in.
it's
If you've
like-
got a good song, then they'll join in at the end, but you're up there by
But
yourself.
then when you've people like Ethan and that, they'd be telling lads not till
Not to join in.
Not to join in and make
Just
it
to
up.
kill it.
I don't believe that for a minute.
Yeah.
Do not believe
No, there's
that.
been occasions like that.
Favorite TV series?
Prison Break.
Oh yes.
Have you watched that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. 1 and 2.
What? Yeah, Prison Break 1 and 2.
Right, so because
Teabag.
I'm not allowed to ask about football anymore because I
Okay.
get battered for it. So the best piece of advice you've received?
I'll probably say never too high, never too low. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Keeps
Heard
you
it
balanced.
from an old coach at Luton. So
You remember his name?
John Still.
There you go. Good man. And if you weren't a footballer, I love this one because the Peter Crouch comment all them years ago. If you weren't a footballer, what would you be doing?
I don't know, but in my family, both my parents work for the HMRC, so
Ooh.
I'll probably be some sort of tax man. I'll be coming after
I've always
Stu.
wondered who the tax man is. He's sitting right beside me.
I'll be coming after Stu heavily, definitely.
If you've no job, you can't pay tax now, though, can you?
What? You still have to.
I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell them about your paddle facility. They'll come after you there because you plug it every time.
Forgot about that. Cut that.
Oh, moving on. What does a perfect day in your life look like?
Wake up via the kids usually, just like morning cuddles in bed, then play with them a little bit, go to training, have a good session, come home, back, kids again, just enjoy until bedtime where it's a bit stressful, and then sit down after with my missus and watch a movie.
How old are your kids?
My oldest is almost 3 and my youngest is 6 months.
How did that change your life when they came along?
I think it's just like understanding what's important in life, and it kind of took the pressure off football a little bit because it wasn't the main drive and focus in my life, because up until that point I feel like it's been football, try to be the best, and then when they came along it's kind of like there's a little switch in your brain that goes like bringing them up how I want to bring them up is the most important thing. So they're definitely at the forefront of my mind, even when I'm playing, because you play well and it is a domino effect onto their lives, basically.
What a lovely
Love
answer,
that,
isn't it?
yeah,
You're the
that's
first one that's actually mentioned going to training in the perfect day. Everybody was like, lie in bed, rest, see your family.
No, I quite like routine, to be honest.
Yeah.
In all walks of life, it's just like something that I'm into, and I guess you guys might know, like after football, it's the hardest
It's
thing.
the
Not having
hardest thing
not
to
having
get.
a routine.
Yeah, I call it spaghetti junction. There's so many different directions you want to go, and you don't know where you're going to go. You lose track of that, like you're saying, the regimented purpose of getting up. You know what you're doing, routine, and that was the hardest thing I had to get back into. So, yeah,
I guess as well, because when you play at the level that you guys do and did, it becomes part of your identity. So when that's gone, I guess you're kind of thinking, who am I now?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you've got to find other ways, and that's why it's good to have so many support mechanisms around your family, friends. Like I say, my dad was my rock and my mentor. And everything I did growing up and after football, he played a key part, but also having good people around you, because I've had some bad ones in the past that take the mick, and it's finding that the ones that you trust, and that's why family and friends have been amazing to give us that direction after football, and finding things keeps you going, like getting up and doing podcasts with you guys.
Yeah, I think as well, routine is key. I think I've obviously since I stopped playing, I've tried to sort of keep a routine, whether it be getting up in the morning, taking the kids to school, going to the gym, so you're sort of still getting that little bit of exercise and playing paddle. But walking the dog, just trying to keep a good routine. Do you know what I mean? I think it is, and I think that's helped me massively, because I think the last thing you want to do is get up and do nothing. I think you need a purpose, you need something to aim towards, you need something to do, and yeah, it's huge, routine.
Absolutely.
Right, we ask everybody on the official Leeds United podcast to bring in something that means something to them, be it a story or something physical. What is it that you've brought with you?
For me, it's just I haven't got it physically with me, but I would say it would be a scrapbook that my mum keeps of all of my footballing achievements, whether it be big or small, ever since probably the age of 7 or 8. So she's got a massive scrapbook full of newspaper.
Surely she's got more than one.
Newspaper cutouts and everything similar to that. So yeah, she's kept every single headline, this, that, and the other. So.
Did you always know she had it, or did she show you when you were a certain age?
I would say when I was around 20, I realised that she had it and she'd been keeping it, and like programs and things games that she's been to. So
it's great that, like, even with his kids, obviously growing up, they're probably a little bit young at the minute, but I think in another 4 or 5 years' time, you'll be able to show your kids stuff like that. Thank God for YouTube, because my kids probably wouldn't remember me playing. YouTube wasn't.
Yours is in black and white.
No, but I think it is great, like, because the kids will be able to look back on that and his achievements in football.
Do you know what it is? I never knew that my father kept a scrapbook of my footballing career until 8 years ago when he passed away, and I went to go in the garage, and my mum said there's boxes in the garage that need you to go through. And I found all my dad's scrapbooks.
Oh, class.
And it was proper heart-wrenching to go through. But it was just an amazing moment to know that he'd kept that. That was his thing since I was like at school as well. So that's why he was my rock. But I didn't realise how much he'd wanted to be a footballer, but he was so proud of his son. It was amazing.
Like bittersweet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Do your kids, Stuart, take an interest?
Yeah, they love football. They love Leeds. They love watching these boys playing. It's crazy how they pick things up. If I think back they'll always talk about if a goal happens out there on a Saturday and it's similar to one I scored. Now there wasn't many, but they'll say, "Oh, that was the same goal that you scored against such and such." They know, like, because obviously YouTube, they watch everything. They remember me playing. They were here the day I broke my leg as well, so they often remind me about that too.
Highs and lows.
They do take an interest in it, but they love Leeds. They love coming to watch these boys. Whether it's a night time, like last week, well, this obviously might not go out in time, but the Chelsea game, obviously they go to bed when they're 2-0 down, and then the first thing they asked about the next day is what the score was, straight on the YouTube and
watching the highlights.
Yeah. So they love watching me, but they love more now these boys and how well they're doing as well.
So take us back to when you were a kid. What was life like when you were young?
I'll say I grew up in a football-centric house. All of one side of my family supported Arsenal, and I grew up in Luton, so it wasn't too far to get the train into London to go and watch them play. So I grew up probably from the age of 6, 7, going to Highbury for a few games, and then I really started going more when it was the Emirates. And then when I got into the Luton Academy set up.
What age was that?
When I was at Luton, I'd say around 8. I started taking more interest in Luton as well. Because I feel like when you're younger, everyone at school, just like the big teams, in those days, like the two competing anyway were Arsenal and Man U. Everyone was Arsenal and Man U because everyone was a bit glory hunty. But when you grow up, like people start to support your hometown team and stuff. So started going to Luton games a bit more, and obviously I was involved with the academy, so I ended up watching more Luton than Arsenal growing up. But it was very football. It was always on the TV, Soccer Saturday and teletext and what.
And what was that like being at the Luton Academy? Were you seen in the family as a superstar for being in that? Were your mates in that at such a young age?
Yeah, I feel like it's a difficult one growing up where like a lot of pressure is placed on you. Not as in like people are speaking it out loud, but you can feel that there's pressure about like you becoming this, that and the other. But I'd say the biggest thing for me was just enjoying my football up until I knew it was about money then, in terms of these boys are playing week in and week out for their mortgages and stuff. And that's how I knew how much it mattered to them, like what they were doing out on the pitch, because it wasn't like I was in a Premier League academy where the guys in the under 23s are earning thousands of pounds a week and splashing it on this car, that car, this house, that house. It was like a proper setup at Luton, so definitely feel like I value things a bit more than if I was to come for a bigger academy.
What were those early experiences like for you?
At Luton, it was definitely a bit crazy because the facilities were dreadful, to be honest, when I was growing up and started as a scholar. At 16, we used to be like getting dressed in porter cabins. You've probably been in porter cabins in your time, and it's not nice. And we used to train on a public park, and it just like brings things into check when you're seeing on your phone that they have these multi-million-pound facilities at different clubs, but you're still here at this public park, but then you play them on the weekend and you smash them. But so it's always nice to get one over on anyone that like you might feel is a bit more privileged than you. But I'd definitely say, like you said, grounded. It kept you grounded coming up through such a club like Luton, and they always treated me with respect throughout the time that I was there. And there were some difficult times as well, like when they got relegated to the conference. I would say I was probably about 12 at a guess. Someone can fact check that. But it was a time where a lot of people left the academy because when you're in a conference for a couple of years, your academy contracts, basically you could leave for a free. And a lot of people left to go to bigger clubs, and I was one of the ones that stayed. And I feel like it's paid me back.
What a great decision.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what was it debut? Can you remember much about it? What age?
Yeah, I think I was 18. It was a home match late on against, oh no.
He got man of the match, he knows he did.
That was at the start of the season. That was my full debut against Villa. That was a good match. Play against some big players, like looking back on the team sheet. And it was a great day. And definitely when I started to realise like I can do this and like I've got a chance, basically.
Did you become a mainstay from then onwards, or?
There was 2 senior fullbacks ahead of me, so one on each side. I'd say after that game, it was probably a month or 2 before I got in and became like a mainstay in the team.
How did you? Obviously, when you make your debut, because I look at kids now who come through, they make their debut and they think, wow, this is great, I've made it. And then all of a sudden, they're maybe not in the squad for the next couple of months or whatever. And it's sort of being able to deal with that sort of level of excitement to then being told you're not in the squad next week. Can you remember anything from that? Or
I just feel like, I would say most of my time at Luton, I was just happy to be playing for Luton. Like I thought that was a massive achievement, which it is in itself, and I just wanted to like play the next game. I wasn't like elsewhere. I just wanted to like get in the team, albeit like I was young and stuff, but I feel like I always back my ability and the confidence that I brought out on the pitch to like help the team to get promoted at that time, is what we wanted to do.
Did you have some good senior pros around you back then? Because you were talking there about getting your debut and what it meant. I remember getting mine at Sunderland and thinking that I was Billy Big Balls. And Niall Quinn said, listen, the hard work starts now that you're in the first team. I'd escalated quite quick. So I got really good advice from a senior pro back then, and realised how tough it was to stay in that environment. To
be honest, no one ever, like, I would say properly mentored me. There was obviously senior pros at the club that I was playing next to and behind, and they helped out on the pitch for a lot of the time. But I would say most of my mindset comes from like my parents and the way I was brought up, like to obviously stay grounded, stay humble, to be honest, and just keep on like fighting for the next game. And I never used to speak about football with my parents or anything, so I feel like I had a lot of responsibility on my shoulders from early, but I dealt with it quite well, because all my friends used to go to the games as well and watch Luton week in and week out and travel away. And so like speaking to them, they never bigged it up too much as well. So that's
until they
tip of the
tickets.
hat. Until they wanted tickets, to the big games, the playoffs and stuff like that. So, but no, it was quite easy to stay grounded.
Do you think that, being humble and grounded is what's helped you get to where you are today?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's obviously you have to have talent and you have to work hard. But I feel like a lot of the managers I play under quite like me because I'm quite straightforward and like you know what you're going to get, to be honest, and you're going to get someone that's going to work hard, give it their all, and that's just the baseline. And anything after that, obviously you can let your talent shine, but that's always going to be the floor of what I can do, and always going to be like a good lad in the dressing room, never going to spread rumours, this, that and the other, and get involved in nonsense. So I feel like it's something that has helped me further on in my career. And
well, I think that's
getting more experience.
Certainly showed this season at Leeds United with your versatility. You know, putting your trust as a coach to say, go and play this position, go and play that position, and doing a job and kind of going, wow, he's outstanding there, he's done a job here, outstanding. I think that comes from not getting too high, not getting too low with getting carried away. And I think you just said leading by example and doing a job for the team.
Yeah, obviously I feel like Stu, you did the same. Obviously you were put in this position, that position, you always did a job, and that was your flaw as well in terms of
I think
give it your all.
Yeah, I think somebody done a famous quote along the lines of you've got to be better where you lack in quality, you've got to be better in everything else, kind of thing. And that was what my game was. I didn't have the most quality in the world, but I knew how to work hard, and I knew what it meant to play for the clubs I played for. Obviously my pathway was different. I didn't come through an academy. So I come from Northern Ireland and moved to Brentford when I was 21. So I come through so I had experienced stuff in my football and journey that you know, when I was 16, 17, when I was leaving school, I was having to go out and work and stuff like that. And so it made me appreciate things more when I got to this level and so I just thought that hard work was just everything for me. And then you're right, Bridgie, about his versatility. People don't realise how hard it really is at times. It's difficult. You know, you're playing one week, you're playing right wing back, and next week you're left wing back, and people just look at it and go, well, you're a wing back. But how you receive the ball is completely different. Like you're receiving the ball on your left foot, which you're not 100% comfortable with. You're not as confident playing channel balls, maybe with your left foot. You're having to come inside. So it's everything's. So I don't think people realise how difficult it is to be versatile.
I know how difficult it is. I couldn't change from being a striker to go and play in midfield or right wing or left wing. I couldn't adapt.
It adds an extra layer of something to think about, I guess, doesn't it? When it's not your natural position or not where you feel most comfortable.
Yeah, I feel like, to be honest, by this time, like I've played in basically all the positions on the back line. I've played in midfield, whether it be starting the game midfield or as you see people like inverting nowadays and stuff like that. So I feel like you just need to understand the positions on the pitch and their roles in, because each game is different as well, as you know.
But that is as well as being educated and understanding, as you say, your role, because you one week you were right wing back and then the next week you were a right centre back. So it's knowing your roles and responsibilities. Well, I'm not playing right wing back now, so I can't just bomb on. Although you did against Forest. Against Forest, you did. But yeah, so it's understanding football as well. It's being intelligent. It's knowing your roles and responsibilities.
Maybe that's why you just said the word.
That's why you
intelligent. That's why I couldn't adapt.
Well, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, I knew you were teeing something up.
It's also, though, hugely complimentary, isn't it? That the manager has that belief that you can fulfill those roles.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice that he obviously puts his trust in me to play all these different positions and obviously do a good job in either of them or a few of them. So it gives you more chances to play, obviously, as a player. But it's also, on the other hand, it's like harder to lock down one position because you're moving so often, which is also a difficult part of it. But I'm just happy to be out on the pitch at any time, to be honest, and helping fight for staying up. Where
does that trust come from? Obviously the relationship with the manager, but also the staff as well. Do you sit down and discuss other, like Stewie said, roles and responsibilities for that specific position?
No,
or do you and Daniel just chat about changing positions, or how does it go?
I think he obviously knows that I can play in a lot of positions and do whatever, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why they recruited me this season. So, and especially since we changed shape, there's more positions that I can play now other than right back, left back. I can play both sides, centre back. I can play both sides, wing back. and it just gives me more opportunities, as I said. And there's not been like a discussion like you have to do this as this position, you have to do that as that position. I feel like a lot of it now is game plan based, and in this game you might have to set up with the 3 centre backs, but in this game, i.e. Forest, you can go a bit higher.
But trust comes from performances.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? When you're performing the way he has been, or not just him, but any player, when they're performing, well, you gain the trust of the manager, of your teammates, of the staff. And let's not forget, he comes through with a good Leicester team too.
Absolutely.
How did that experience help you when you came here to Leeds?
Yeah, it was massive, to be honest, because I would say definitely last season I was at Leicester was probably the worst season of my career, bar none, in terms of even being injured, having setbacks, this, that and the other. It was the worst season, because I feel like when you're playing in a losing team week in and week out, it's just demoralising, and it affects every part of your life. Even if you try to put on a brave face and stuff at home when you're out with whatever,
Impacts everything you do.
it impacts everything you do, because everyone watches you as the footballer, and like every line of conversation is sorry about da 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 da, and it's just like brings a negative spin on your life in that year. And that was probably the hardest thing. But also, like at Leicester, I've had a lot of highs as well, and a lot of great times, and so playing under different managers with different styles has helped lead me to where I am at the moment, which is playing well at Leeds United. So I'm happy where I am, and these experiences have obviously, as I said, moulded me into what I am today.
Well, I'll let Stewie and Emma talk about the highs of your Leicester. You're speaking the most injured man in Leeds United's history, I do believe. And I struggled.
Who, me?
Mentally. Oh, actually, I think I might have you by a couple of weeks, Stu. So I wasn't hanging you out to dry there. It was back-to-back injuries for me. It was a nightmare. And mentally I struggled. And how did you handle that side of the game to get you, like you say, it impacts every part of your life?
Yeah.
Was it family, friends, or what did you handle it?
I would say the worst one for me was my ACL in, I can't remember what year it was, just after COVID, where I thought like started playing regularly. I was flying up and down, I was playing well, getting some recognition and stuff. And then like, just like in a random, obviously every injury is random, but like in a cup match midweek, freezing, I end up doing my ACL. I just like,
Was it like a freak knock? It was
just, knock you off the ball, like, and just thought like, wow, and then the realization begins to set in like after the operation really, and just how long you're going to be out for. And the first injury was definitely a struggle mentally, because I hadn't been through it before. Like I'd hardly been injured previously, and obviously I was in a good place, and I was just thinking like, if I was like kept on playing the way I was, I'd be like challenging for England position, this, that and the other. And then I would say the Achilles was a lot easier to deal with, because
you had ruptured Achilles as well?
Yeah, I've been through it before, in terms of like had a bad injury, and I kind of knew what it takes to get back. And also I'd matured by that time, and like understood like, obviously they're part of the game, injuries. Like no one wants to see anyone get injured like that. But I feel like that was a good time, if any, for me to have the injury, because I was at a stronger place mentally, and like the rehab was a lot easier and smoother.
So did you find it was easier to focus on what was ahead?
Yeah, definitely. I just knew what it took to get back.
Yeah.
To like playing at a high level, and my body feeling good, which is the main thing after an injury. I feel like you don't want to be waking up every day with aches and pains, and you want to be able to like run around with your kids post-career, and you don't want to like butcher your body in any way that might affect you after your career, like at the end of the day. So they're definitely the
Did you hear the pop?
things.
Did you hear the bang?
Yeah, so...
Sorry, this is...
Yeah, I definitely...
turned around and said, I was
the
going mad at the defender, there was nobody around us.
with my knee, I definitely felt a pop or the bang, or it just felt like
it's an internal
quiet gunshot, and someone said they heard it on the pitch as well. So that was like a wild one. And then with the Achilles, it was just like, so my dad had done his Achilles maybe, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. And I always remembered him saying like, he was playing indoors and he thought there was a gunshot and like thought someone was behind him. And I was similar thing on a football pitch, like received it from the keeper in a right back position, opened out, and then took my first step, and then like just felt something.
It's like
I thought it was
sniper.
someone. Yeah, I thought someone kicked me from behind, and then
Goosebumps.
like within a split second, wait a minute, I'm a right back. No one's behind me, and then from then I just knew, and it was just like obviously disappointing at the time, but I feel like it shaped who I am.
Sorry for this.
Day as well.
This is like
don't
this is a psychology session for me.
Yeah, I feel
Did
like
you find that made you more hungry and determined? Football was taken away from me for 2 years, and it made me so like I wanted it back so badly.
Yeah.
And I saw people taking it for granted. I'm thinking I've just nearly lost my career here.
Yeah.
And it kind of was a dark day in my life, or dark time in my life, but it gave us the drive to play till I was 36.
Yeah, that's what like kind of drove me to like be more demanding in training and be a bit more of a senior player in that sort of terms, because you can never, like after being injured for that long and seeing people out on the pitch and not giving it their all and not like just getting going and dilly-dallying about, it's just like you don't know like how lucky you are.
Been through. Yeah.
And like how much I would give to be back out there, and you're acting like it's a stroll in the park, and that's something that I could never accept from anyone. It's just like dilly-dallying about and taking it for granted where we are. Obviously, we're at a high performance club, and every day on the pitch is a positive, to be honest. And it's hard. It's easy to take it for granted when you've never been through something like that. But once you've been through something like that, there's no turning back, and it's just like
you've turned a negative into a positive.
Yeah, definitely.
That's my counselling session done. Carry on,
Definitely,
you two.
Your TED Talk. What kind of things do you do to ensure that Leeds feels like home for you?
I'd say the biggest thing for me, or as well as the hardest thing for me, was when moving. I just had a newborn baby, so it came at quite a difficult time in terms of family life. But I just wanted to get the family up here and settled as quickly as possible, just so that like we're all together and you have that like homely feel whenever you get back from training. Obviously, like when you first join, you might stay in a hotel for a couple of nights and be traveling. I was traveling back and forth a few days a week as well to Nottingham, which is where they were, and just getting a place sorted was the biggest thing for me, because I knew a few people at Leeds already, like not properly, but once you've been playing for a while, kind of everyone, to be honest, in football. And so I knew I was going to settle into the dressing room quickly. So it was just getting the family up.
What are you chuckling at?
I'll come to it in a minute.
Come on, Sharon. You can't do that.
Yeah.
It's not often Grandad laughs.
There is a strong rumour. Now, I don't know how true this is. Well, actually, I do know it's true. I won't mention the players in question, but when you won the league with Leicester...
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I'm going to say?
I think I know what you're going to say.
Yous were out. There was a couple of our boys out in a nightclub or restaurant or whatever.
Yeah.
And they had obviously spent a few quid on food and drinks, whatever it was. But when they went to pay the bill...
Who, the Leeds lads?
When the Leeds lads went to pay the bill, the Leicester boys had paid their bill.
Oh, no. You horrible gits.
I think it's unbelievable. I think it's so good.
That is good banter.
That was one of the highlights of that year, to be honest. It's just like the look on their faces.
Has one of the players in question mentioned it to you since you come to the club?
Yeah.
Is he still here at the club?
We speak about it all
Is he still
the time.
here?
Yeah, we speak about it all.
Did it come up?
Yeah. It was part of dressing room banter, to be honest.
So
and it's class, man. Because like at the time, like they didn't know what was going on. Like,
did you hang around to make sure you saw
Yeah,
it?
of course, yeah. We were
But
taking
I
our
can
sweet
imagine.
time.
I can imagine the two of them, both quite high opinions of themselves. Well, one of them anyway, and he wouldn't have liked that.
Yeah, nah, definitely not. And I kind of like
That's class.
heard
No
through
wonder
the
you laughed.
grapevine of like when it happened, like it getting back to people at Leeds, and like all the lads are having them off and that, and yeah, it still gets brought up to this day, which is funny. It's one of the highlights of that year. And
Such good.
I
fun.
don't think he's ever going to let it go, to be honest. But yeah, it was good.
Are we not allowed to name the player?
I'm not going to.
Okay.
I'm not
can't.
going to throw him under the bus, to be honest.
Can't name. No naming and shaming, but good banter.
But do you feel like you and the family are settled here now?
Yeah, definitely. My oldest goes to the nursery here, and my youngest will eventually. And just applied for school and stuff like that for my oldest. So I feel like just more settled, and the family is settled, and kind of we've got our own routine and what we like to do in the area and stuff. So yeah, everyone's settled, and my missus is making friends with the other wives and girlfriends and stuff. So yeah, she's feeling more at home up here.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, definitely.
You know.
I know.
Definitely. Yeah.
But it is actually such a really important, for you as a player, we've spoken about this before, haven't we, guys? To feel at home where you are
Yeah.
and to have your support network is crucial, isn't it? For you bedding in.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like also another difficult thing for me was moving further away from home. So obviously just outside London is where most of my family are, and my mum doesn't drive, and getting up to see me is more difficult now. But it was a step. Obviously, I know it's at the end of the day, it's my career, and I have to make the most of what I've got left playing. And this was the best choice for me. So it was harder in terms of like seeing her and stuff like that, but she understands that your window's like this, and you have to make the most of it. And she's adapted well and has to get the train up now. So.
Are you a city life person with a family in a city? Or are you like me? I like being out in the country away from people.
I like
hiding.
being away from people.
Yeah,
me,
you like
yeah.
that, do you?
Just like being in our own bubble, and like venturing out into the city once in a while, but just being in a calm place, and
I mean, Yorkshire's
just
perfect for that.
being in your bubble. Yeah. To be honest, it was one of the things that led me towards Leeds. Like in the summer, was from speaking to people. It was like the area is lovely, and this, that, and the other. Obviously, I'm a lot more southern than all of the people up here, and I was just a bit like, huh, really? I didn't think like it was that great up here, like from what I've heard. But then coming up here and seeing how nice the people are, and seeing like the area and the different cultures around here has been an eye opener for sure. And
it helps you settle in more when you see what's on offer around.
Yeah, I would say the Yorkshire people are nicer than the Southerners, to be honest.
Further north,
that might be a bit controversial, but
it's not controversial.
It sort of stops at Leeds. The further up you go, they become. All right, Bridget.
It is true though, isn't it? People love a chat round here. Do you find that people talk to you when you're out and about?
Yeah, definitely. And it's like, it's not intrusive as well. So like, I feel like they care about you more as a person, whereas like, I would say it's just like football. Whereas when I've been spotted out here or whatever, people are asking like, oh, how have you settled in? Like, give me advice on where to go and what to see, what sights to see. So it's been nice coming up here, and yeah, the interactions with the fans are always nice.
Outside of football, obviously hobby-wise, we're getting to know you as a player. I love me golf. Stewie loves his paddle. Yeah?
Yeah.
What keeps you going? What's your hobbies? Because I think, was it somebody was saying the word gamer that we did a podcast with?
Anton Stack, big gamer.
Yeah, he is a big gamer. To be honest, in the last few weeks, we've set up a pro club, which is on FIFA. It's like where each player controls an individual player out of the 11, and you all pick your positions before the game, and we all come into a good...
What, you're all playing the same team together?
We all play in the same team, yeah. Not all of us, but there's a good 8 or 9 of us on rotation in the last couple of weeks that have been playing some
And
games
do
together.
people you're playing against know it's yous or
Nah.
Imagine if they did.
No, there's no.
That'd be
There's no.
so
It's an
good.
exclusive. And
There's no
what's the name of the team?
communication.
Yeah.
There's no communication with the other team. We're just having banter.
There's money to be made, you know.
Yeah,
I can be the manager.
So, yeah.
I'll do all the
I guess so,
the promotions and stuff.
Yeah,
Don't
to be
agree
honest,
to that.
You're saying there
we've been
about hobbies
promoted a
and
few
stuff.
times already.
Like
Hobbies.
outside, yeah, you can't really do much when you're playing. Like you can play golf.
Yeah, I used to play golf all the time, and me and a couple of
No,
lads,
I
we
know,
were
but golf's
addicted
about all
to
you
Pro
can do, isn't it?
Evolutions, Pro Evo Soccer, Star Wars, whatever it was, where you used to fly the things. I used to love all that. Stewie, I scored a goal against Watford, right, away from home. We got hammered off David O'Leary because me and a couple of boys were playing until 3-4 in the morning, and we got done by Eddie Gray. And he said, if you don't perform tomorrow, you're getting banned from your computers or your PlayStations, whatever we had at the time. And I'll never forget scoring that goal, and you just see me and a few of the boys doing this in front of the bench there. Just basically say, like, there you go. It hasn't
Yeah, but
impacted us
the
one
game's
bit.
evolved from there. I'm not
Oh,
being.
cheers.
I'm not. No, I don't mean that in a bad way. It has evolved. So you can't really get away with doing much now, can you? Like golf, you can just about get away with, but
Yeah,
they wouldn't
but
want you playing golf on a Thursday, even before a Saturday game.
And I think it's even
paddle. You can't go and play paddle on a Wednesday.
To be
before
fair,
a game.
I think paddle's okay because like it's not strenuous to a certain like degree. Obviously,
you're
it's,
not playing the right games.
I knew
obviously,
you'd have something to say about that.
obviously, if I play with Stuart, it'd be a bit different. But
I'm not very good, by the way.
I'd just say like golf. Like no one wants to play golf in the last 3 months because of the weather. So no one's been playing golf anyway. It's just like in the summer, people might play around the golf. I don't know, up at the courses around here in like Alwoodley and stuff. So that's something that people still do. But to be honest, as you said, like nowadays, people don't really do a lot. It's more like
Everything's monitored, though, isn't it?
Everything-
It's not the games
everything
evolved.
is-
Sports science has evolved.
Yeah.
You're
You-
basically
no,
not
you
even allowed to
understand
train.
it
Not even
a
allowed
bit
to train
more.
at times now with sports science. Like it's weird, but
yeah, everything's just like obviously taking a step up in terms of physicality, and making sure you're available is a big one as well, because there's no point in being a player and spending millions of pounds on a player if they're never available. And that's a big part of like daily life is nutrition and sleep, and they play a big factor in what they want us to do outside of football as well.
Marcelo used to always say to us, be better today than yesterday, but not as good as tomorrow. And it's really powerful when you think of it. It just basically means you've got to prepare as best you can to be better than.
Can you just
yesterday.
do me a favour? Can you do a book of all the quotes that you have put out through all your ex-managers and coaches?
Does it motivate you?
I love them.
It's good, isn't it?
You do come out with some good ones,
Yeah.
to be
It does.
fair.
Yeah.
Only the good ones. Do you know, I've had some bad quotes.
What's the worst
Some
quote
bad
anyone's ever said to you?
You put me in the spot now.
Well, you've got another 10 minutes to think
I'll
of
think
it.
about it. Come back to
But
me.
you said, you like routine. Do you feel like the way the game is now, does that suit you?
Yeah, I would say so, because obviously with family life now, my hours of my operating window has shifted. I used to stay up later, wake up later, whereas now I go to bed earlier, wake up a bit earlier. And I just feel like most of my time now is spent at home. Like obviously we're privileged enough to have such thing as a playroom in my house. So a lot of my time is spent there and just like
Is that just for
chilling.
you?
Yeah, that's just for me. Nah, there's a lot for them to do in there, and so like you can sit down on the sofa and have more of a relax instead of venturing out to, I don't know, the park or the field or whatever. And that's something obviously that, although it doesn't seem like a hard thing to do to take your kids to the park, but it's every little bit adds up at the end of the day. And if you take them to the park 100 times a year, that's 100,000 extra steps that you might be doing that you could
There's
get
sports
off.
scientists coming into it again.
Just a wee 1%, isn't it? To make
it's
yourself better.
just keep on stacking stacking those little wins up.
And you put that lifestyle now down, obviously, that you've adapted and changed. Is that what's happening with your performance on the field? Do you think you're in a better place there, or has it just always been like that for you?
It's been similar for me, to be honest. I've never done a lot outside of football, whether it be social media or gaming too much.
Stay away from social media.
I know, yeah. I don't really do it, to be honest. 'Cause,
Danger.
not the biggest fan, just in general. But yeah, I feel like it has helped me in my performances and stuff. But I feel like, as Stu said, everything's monitored nowadays as well. So even if you wanted to, it's probably a bad idea to do it. And so you just, as I said, just keep stacking those 1% and hopefully it can show out. Obviously, it doesn't always turn out well on the pitch, and that's variance, isn't it? So, but if you can keep your baseline as this, then you've got a lot to work with.
What are your expectations of yourself here?
I just feel like it's to help the less experienced boys, especially in like getting them through games and helping them understand that, like, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is the scoreline and keeping your head level throughout, whether you've been under the cosh for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, that the score is still this. We still need to do this, and keeping it black and white so people don't think that just because we've been battered and we might be one goal down, like it's the end of the world and you need to throw your toys out of the pram. So it's just trying to keep people on a level head, to be honest. And a lot of that is speaking on the pitch, but a lot of it also is just being calm in the dressing room, and hopefully I can continue to be that calming figure for everyone. You know,
you just said they're talking on the pitch. Is obviously meetings back in the day, and you've gone through lots of meetings, obviously with Bielsa and things like that, the tactics and analysis. Is it an open dressing room? Like when you're having meetings, have you got a voice as a player, or is it all just listening?
Usually when we come in from the dressing room, I'd say there might be a situation that like the lads might not sort out themselves, but like have a chat about and try and think of what we can do better. And then the boss will come in and we'll watch some clips of where we could be improving as a team. And so it's a collective between the players and the staff, like figuring out like things that we can do better in the second half, whether it be tweaking the formation slightly or just communicating a bit better in certain situations. So yeah, it's a bit more like it's an open floor to anyone, to be honest, if you really want to. A lot of the time, yeah, it's definitely the kind of squad that they've built as well. Is like everyone says good dressing room, but like it's not a dressing room where if you say something to someone, they'll take it to heart. And I feel like you've mentioned that in previous podcasts, haven't you? That's a good one. About the recruitment, how it's like the
club. Policy. Yeah, I think it's huge. It's massive. A perfect example of it. Somebody who comes in, works hard, knows what they're here for. I think when you bring in big egos, it disrupts the changing room. You've probably played on teams yourself where there has been a few big egos. And it's just, you just don't need it. And you might be able to be successful in certain situations, but at a club like this, you need a good culture in your dressing room. You have to have.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Even at like going back to my Brentford days, they obviously didn't have any big egos then. They didn't pay big wages back then, but we had a real togetherness in our group, a normal bunch of lads, and we achieved something really special at Brentford. Yeah. And I think here, till a certain extent, you're playing the Premier League, the money's different, etc. But you've got to have no.
And did you recognise that early doors when you arrived as well in the dressing room?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like even when you look at the squad and what like they've recruited this summer, is like they've gone for a real certain type that's going to help them this season and beyond. And as soon as I walked into the dressing room, I was like a bit bewildered, because obviously, you know, every dressing room, every team is different, and the way they operate day to day is also takes some getting used to. And I felt here that everyone just got on with it, just whatever the job was. Like everyone held each other accountable to maintain this on and off the pitch, which was a massive thing, and yeah, definitely like something that I wasn't used to before.
Look, we don't know when this is going to be released, this podcast, but in the interest of transparency, it's mid-Feb right now. How do you reflect on the season so far?
I feel like it's been a good season. It could be a great one, obviously, at the end of the day, if we achieve our goal, but we need more points than 18th position at the end of the day, and that's all it's gonna take. I feel like we've performed a lot better than what the table might suggest, but at the end of the day, the table throughout the whole course of a season doesn't lie, and hopefully we can continue to improve and make this place like a fortress. And because I don't know about you guys at different clubs, but like playing under like the crowd here, especially under lights, is just like nothing like it. And you could say like 12th man, it does give you that extra bite to go the extra mile.
I think results has been proved, haven't they?
Absolutely.
And it's just like
results reflect that this season.
Obviously, like people talk about it outside of Leeds, but to feel it and being like affected by the spell of it is something like a different world, to be honest. And hopefully we can continue that support.
James, I've got nights here under floodlights that I will take to my grave, beating AC Milan at home.
That's what I was going to ask. So when people asked you about that and they asked you why it's so special, like what's your opinion? Do you think, has it come from, I think Liverpool's probably a wee bit the same, Champions League nights, a lot of emotion in the stadium, it just feels different. But why?
But even just floodlights here in general on the evenings. I don't know whether it's the whole build up the game or the fans have had more pints before they've had more afternoons. I don't know. There's just something
it's an
about
old school stadium.
It is. There's a grittiness to it. But also I think Leeds United fans, even when they're away, they're always the most vocal. Like their passion comes out vocally, doesn't it? That's what we witnessed. Do you find that?
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like the fans in England in general are quite reactive in terms of you score a goal, they celebrate. There's not like constant like you might get abroad somewhere.
They're proactive here.
And here they're proactive, and they, obviously you mentioned Anfield's Champions League nights as well. I always feel like playing at Anfield is one of the hardest because it feels like the cop is pulling the ball into the goal. And that's sort of an effect we get here as well in terms of throughout the game, no matter what, if like you make a big tackle or there's a big save or a big chance, like it just turns up the crowd like tenfold, and you just like on the wave, you're just surfing through the wave of the crowd. And obviously we've had some good results under the lights, and hopefully we can keep that going.
Well, look, we have got a little game that we want to play with you before we let you go. It's our very own fine wheel. Glamorous assistant. Which one's going to pick it up?
He's far more glamorous than me.
So Stuart is going to hold the wheel. We just want you to give it a spin. You might have to spin it quite hard to get it going. See what it lands on. Good spinning. What's that say? The last picture on your...
Last picture on your camera roll.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Is it a good one?
I think it is a good one. I think it was this morning. I'm pretty sure my missus took it.
Well, let's find out, shall we?
Let's hope it's appropriate for the podcast. Dum, dum, dum. Do you want to do your drum roll again?
Yeah, should we do the drum roll?
Come on then.
What is it?
Yes.
That is...
You can show the camera. Well, maybe you don't want your face. So
No.
That is adorable.
Yeah, that's the last.
For your information, it's his kid.
Oldest? Youngest?
Youngest.
Oh.
Fantastic.
That was him this morning.
That was the most wholesome answer from the wheel, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't even know what mine is.
Oh, Stuart's getting his out now.
I'm not showing you.
It'll be a paddle racket.
What's yours?
Mine, probably a selfie.
It probably is as well, you and your Gregs.
Just checking out me.
Go on. Oh, he's definitely deleting something
I'm
there.
not. Because on the new iPhones, it's when you hit that button, it's...
Stuart's not meant to take.
Picture 2 fingers.
Please show the camera that picture, Stuart. Tell me you're old without telling me.
It's in here. Look at the carpet.
By the way, there is other phones. There is other phones apart from iPhones that you can buy.
There are. Thank you, producer Michael.
Get your Nokia 3210.
James, Justin, it has been an absolute joy having you join us on the official Leeds United podcast. Have you enjoyed yourself?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. James, Justin, everybody.
Top man. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.